Okay guys, how are we doing? I'm going to be going through a combo tutorial for the Warrior Turbo deck, and here we have obviously the cards here, and I'm going to show you how to play the deck essentially. Now I just want to give a few shout outs. I want to give a shout out to the person behind the camera, my mum. She's been a legend for doing this. Obviously shout out to all my family and all that, but yeah. And shout out to Rogue Society. They're a clan that I've recently joined to play at Yu-Gi-Oh! Online competitively, and yeah, we just get straight into it. Okay, so as for the main engine, we can play. These are the sort of cards you can play. So with the new Infernoble cards coming out, we can play a higher Infernoble count. So if you just put the cards that, yeah. So we can play a higher Infernoble count. Obviously this one you probably won't play, but obviously it's an option you can play. And then you have connectors, you have heritage. This searches anything in the deck. It's probably a free of going forward. Obviously you can have the Phantom Knights engine, and then you can play these. You don't always have to play this now though. You can play a second Fogblade if you don't want to play Reader or a rank 4. And then red layers, we don't need to play 3 of this. Dolphin. We also have 3 Small World, 1 Rotor, 1 1-for-1, 2 rematch. This can be cut down to 1 now. You have Hero Kids if you want to play around draw. You also have this equip spell, Joyous, and you have Divine Sword Phoenix Blade. This one you can play because you want to play 4 equip spells to send off Isolde. This card specifically, obviously everyone knows what this does. Because then that way we can summon out Ogia, and then Ogia can send like the new Turpin, the new Infernoble card that's coming out, or you can send Gearfried, and then you can add this back, summon this, add back the card you send, and yeah, that's what you can do from there. And then obviously you have the Code Breakers. The Code Breakers are a different line of combo you can go down. And then you also have the Goki cards as well, which are like MVP obviously. And Durendal's like nuts. I don't know about playing 3 or 2 of this. But obviously that'll be decided going forward. The list currently has only 2. But I keep tossing and turning between both. And then we have obviously the Phantom Knight stuff and Butter Spice. So, right, I'm going to show you guys some combo lines. And in order to do that, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to show you what Goki Suprex does with a name now. You can even open Small World if you play a hand trap build. So if you play a hand trap build, you can basically access Suprex a lot easier. Whereas if you play a board breaker build, you sort of have to rely on drawing it. So yeah, that's the issue there. So yeah, if you open 1 Suprex with, let's say, an Iron Claw, I'll show you what the combo does. So what we do is, we normal summon Suprex, we use this effect to summon a Goki name, preferably not the same name, and then we use them to go into Isolde in the far left zone. And then we use this as Chainlink 1, use Claws Chainlink 2, Wretch Chainlink 3. And then from here, what we're going to be doing is, we're going to be searching the rematch. Let me just get access to it. Yeah, so rematch, we're going to be searching for a Goki name. Let me do it this way guys, so you guys can see it. And then off the Isolde, because we're going to send, this is the old sort of combo that we've been doing, just to get a lot of extension and pushes. So they're the 3 cards that I'm going to add in this situation, because we want to discard this off of Torn Scales, and then we can use the rematch later and summon this back and get another rematch for the following turns. So then from Isolde, we're going to send DDR specifically, because we want to set this back off Griffin. And then you can send, let's say, Joyous, for example. And then you can send, let me see it, Divine Sword Phoenix Blade. And then with these 3, you can summon Torn Scales, as I mentioned earlier. Preferably the far right, sorry, in the extra monster zone. And then from here, you're going to use the effect to discard Guts. And you're going to send, where is it, Cloak. There he is. And then from here, we use the Cloak, because we want to play around Nibiru the best we can. And obviously, we don't want to get wrecked by it. So by doing this play, what you can do is, if they don't nib you here, then you can make Appaloosa, or as I call it, Apple. And then that way, if they nib you, you can just negate it or stop it, right? Or what you can do, if you think they don't have Nibiru, and they are not bad, so what you do is here, you link these 2 off, and you make Draco Masters. And then from here, you can activate Rematch. And then you can summon back the Guts that you haven't used, and the Rex, specifically this, because this is level 4, and you can summon Redo Outfit as well. Sorry, because it's level 4. And then you use these 2 names. And then you go this guy. I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you see the thing alright? Is that alright? You see it still? Okay, good. Yeah, so we got Chain Link 1, Swordsman effects, and then Chain Link 2. And we're going to add rematch because, again, we don't want to set the rematch off of Griffin. And we'd rather keep it in hand anyway, just to not lose to board breakers. And then, we summon the level 4 as well. This is banished, this is on the field, this is in hand. And then we summon this guy. I always draw this for some reason. I don't like drawing it, it really racks me off. Yeah, so mind my poor English. So yeah, we use this effect here to reborn these two. If we have Appaloosa here, by the way, we can summon one of these guys to the opponent's field if they're playing Kashtira, which means they can't special summon their Kashtira monsters, which is like really good for us as well. So yeah, going forward, we use these two, and we're going to Rusty. Again, guys, this is the before Nexus combo, which is like the most powerful. But obviously after Nexus, I'll show you what we can do. It's very specific though in terms of what you need access to. But again, I can show you guys that. Yeah, so we set this, and then we send another Torn Scales. You see, before I only saw one person play Torn Scales in this sort of deck, and I was like, why aren't other people playing it? Because it's a free discard. It can discard like Gokinins that you want in graveyard. You want it for rematch and stuff like that. But yeah, I was questioning it, and then we use this guy, and then we're going to add Fog Blade, so that way we don't lose to Dark Ruler that hard either. And then to basically, what happens is if you get Dark Rulered, you're essentially, what your game plan is, post game 2 and 3, is you want to get as much follow up as you can because they can't kill you through Dark Ruler. So what you got to do is you got to have follow up to break their board that they create after. You have this to sort of limit what they can do, but yeah, you basically just use like what you've got to sort of stop them from producing a mad crazy board, right? So after this, we then use Blade to banish Isolde specifically because we want to summon this off of DDR. So then we don't go through the second one, and then we banish the Berserker because we want, if this goes, if Rusty goes, we can then summon this back, and then we can summon back the Code Breakers from the graveyard again, because this doesn't have the effect where if it's link summoned, it only has to be special summoned to a link zone where it points to co-links. So where 2 red arrows point to each other. And yeah, so anyway, we have Blade back, banishing them two specifically. This is the graveyard. I'll move these tokens out of the way. Yeah, and then what we do is we go these two, and we make Griffin. You can make Firewall as well, if you really want to, depending on the format. But obviously the best play for this specific build is to make Griffin. And we put it here because then we can draw a card as well. So we discard the Phoenix Blade, and we set DDR for extra follow-up. We draw a card because it's co-linked. And then from here, what we can do is we can then use the, what's it called? We use this, and then we make Redoer. You can make Baguska as well. I've not got Redoer here, which is fine. But yeah, you make Redoer. Let's just say that's Redoer. And then if you know what a card does, you can just search it up on the internet. It's Time Thief Redoer. And then yeah, you got like Redoer to bounce something or draw cards if you get a spell card. You've got the Phantom Knight's follow up. You've got the Fog Blade. You've got Gear Freeze. You've got Rematch. You've got DDR. Like if they're not killing you, you're basically going to win the game. In all honesty, unless they set TC Boo. Then in that case, it's just really what it is. But obviously, yeah, this deck in terms of follow up is absolutely crazy, and I think it's actually one of the best follow up decks in the game. And then obviously now what I'm going to do is, obviously this combo has already been shown before, but I'm going to show you guys what one connector can do, plus like just literally just this one card and how many cards you can get off this one. So what you do is you normal summon, use this effect, and then you're going to summon Dolphin, and obviously because we've got no cards in hand, we use these two, and we summon Isolde. We use the Isolde effect to add a warrior. This can be Super X, for example. So there's 2 cards already, and then we use the second effect. We're going to send 3 equips as we did last time. Let's just say it's Durendor, which is absolutely nuts going forward. I need to learn the new Infernoble cards, by the way, because that is what's going to give me a good advantage going forward as well. Yeah, so anyway, let's not get sidetracked. So we summon Torn Scales. Use his effects after banishing the 2 warriors to add Blade to hand. So it's a free discard for the Torn Scales, which is crazy as well. And then we send the Cloak as we did before. Now, obviously in this combo, we can't play around Nib. but that's fine. We just still add follow-up to basically play in the following turn anyway. So then we make Draco Masters. Let me just find it. Yeah, a lot of people were questioning why I played this card at the start, because I feel like the reason why we need to play this is because we have 3 link arrows pointing down. Yeah, so going forward we have the cloak effect. We use this to add boots, obviously. This combo doesn't contain any Goki effects, but obviously having the effect of, like, you know, having access to the engine is like really good. And then we use Torn Scales Engraved to summon back, and we summon this back. And then from here we link this off, and this gets banished. And then we make the Codebreaker's Fire Swordsman. We use his effects to summon the level 4. Sorry guys, 1 second. And then we summon this back. This will be a little bit scuffed, by the way, guys, because again, I am new to uploading YouTube videos. But as time goes on, I will become used to it and the content will improve. Yeah, so going forward, we use this and then we link these off into Rusty as we did earlier. And then we use his effect. And we're going to send another Torn Scales. And then we're going to set this. And then what we do is we use the boots and we add Fogblade. And then it's up to you what you want to do here. Because if you have loads of hand traps, like my opinion would be just to make keep this set and we use these 2. Or what you can do is you make Redoer in the far right zone. You make Redoer with a trap effect negate. Or what you can do is a trap bounce, sorry. Or what you can do is you can keep this set and then you link these 2 off. Use the blade first before we use this. And then we use Griffin to discard the blade that we add back. And then we target the DDR. Obviously we banished Isolde as well. And then we set this and we draw a card. So like from 1 card we've gone +6, which is absolutely ballistic. So you've already got 4 cards in hand as well. So you pretty much have 10 cards from that point. So yeah, that's the combo before Duelist Nexus. And now, so after Duelist Nexus, this is where it gets crazy, okay? So because of Duelist Nexus coming out and Turpin's existence, we can basically make any warrior a tuner, and that includes Goku monsters as well. So all of a sudden, Super X becomes a level 4 tuner, Goku Guts becomes a level 1 tuner, so we can play cards like this, Roland, and we can play Charles now. I don't play the Link 1 because I don't have the extra deck space, but these cards here are good enough. This is really insane for follow-up, and you can use this for, obviously, the end board. This basically means you don't have to go the Codebreaker line anymore. It's the Codebreaker line can be more of a follow-up play if you really want it to be, or if you haven't got access to a tuner, you can't make this. You just go the Codebreakers first. So that's what you do here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a combo line to get to this. So now we need these 2, and then like a way into a Fire Warrior. So what we do here is we go normal summon Super X, use this effect, summon a Goku name. You can use Small World as well. I probably prefer the hand trap build just because I have more access to Rex specifically. So yeah, we use this. We add, let me see here, we add this for extension. We add the rematch obviously because it's the best card in the deck. And then we add Iron Claw. Because we don't need this. We don't need this for anything else other than follow up on the turn after. So yeah, then we send 4 equips. You can play Almace, which is a card I'll put in the description because I don't know how to put the photo of it in the video at the minute. So yeah, and then obviously we send 4 equips. We send Almace and these 3, and then from here we summon Ogio. 1 second, guys, real quick. Yeah, so we summon Ogio. We use Ogio's effects, and we send. Let's see here. We send Turpin. So now Turpin's a level 4 warrior, which is an Infernoble guy, and if you control an equip spell, you can summon it back, and you can also equip it to a monster on your side of the field. And from there, we can then basically make. We can equip it to this. We then use the rematch, and then we summon back these guys. And then because we've done that, we can then summon this. Obviously this plays into Nibiru though, which is like something noteworthy. This combo specifically. And then from here, what we do is we then go. Hold on 1 sec. So we go this, this, and this specifically. Not this because it's a level 4. And you make Apo. There we go. And then we use the bat effects, and we add another rematch. You need to play 2 really, just because you want better follow-up. And then from here, you can use the Heritage. And then you can add Reynolds, or as I call it, Reynolds. And then because we've got DDR in the grave, we can add it back for free with Reynolds, because we control this. So we can add this back, which is absolutely bonkers, by the way. And then we can use these 2, let's say, and we'll go into Roland. And we use Roland's effects, and that will activate in the end phase. And then we link these, synchro these 2 off, and we'll make Charles in the far right zone. And then going forward, in the opponent's turn, we have this to re-equip to Charles, and then Charles can trigger its effect to pop a card, which is like really good. It's not very good against Unchained though, that's for sure. And then we also have this to equip to Charles as well, so it can't destroy by card effects. And then obviously during the end phase, we can add any warrior as well. This is with like 2 other cards in hand as well. So like, let's say if we want to add Phantom Knight Engine, we can. If we want to add Connector, we can. Or if we want to add Gearfried, we also can do that. What I like to do is, at the end phase with this effect though, I like to equip this guy, because then it can't be targeted. And then I like to equip this. The reason why is because if this goes to the graveyard together, you can then reborn Reynolds. And then Reynolds effect can add back like anything in terms of like an equip spell or a fire warrior as well. So yeah, that's what I like to do here. And also, by not going through the Phantom Knight's engine or the Codebreakers, you have an instant way to kill in the following turn as well. And then obviously, like I say, you got this to equip as well. And then during the end phase, you send an equip spell with the Roland over there. Send anything. And then you add a warrior, one of these guys, or Gearfried. And yeah, that's pretty much the new combo. With the new stuff, it's going to be really good. I just got to get used to basically playing them cards. And yeah, that's going to be it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more content, as I do want to upload a lot more regularly. And yeah, thanks guys, and see you soon. Bye for now.